Hey, this is Rich over at TVP Live with another quick tips brought to you by Adobe Photoshop Elements Tutorials Group. And let's jump right in. Today's poster wanted to know how to get rid of the air hose here for this nice lady. And I'm going to go ahead and clean up as much as I can. So I'm going to start with the tube up here. And basically what we want to do is use the clone tool. And basically it'll clone another area that we pick and replace it. And I want to do it on top of this image so that I can erase some of what I'm building. So I'm going to go ahead and create a new layer up here like so. And I pick the clone tool. I'm going to hold the Alt button and I want to pick an area. It's just the color that we need. So I'm going to come up here and I'm going to hold Alt and I will click right there. And as long as I come down like this, it's going to follow the color coming down. So I'm going to start up here and I will go like this, and you can see we got rid of some of that. And obviously it's a little bit too bright, but before that I'm going to go ahead and take the eraser and I can erase the edge off a little bit to darken it. I can go to enhance lighting brightness and watch what happens to that brightness. Because it's on its own layer, I can like really play around with it and bring it down so that it better matches our original. There we go, right around there. And that takes care of the tube in that little area. Now down here it's going to be a little harder because there's not that much area to grab. So I'm going to make the circle smaller from a 50 point, let's say a 25 point. And with the clone tool, I'm going to grab this down here by holding down the Alt and click the left mouse button once. Now I can come back up here and draw out. Next, let's go ahead and right click here and merge that down. I'll create another blank layer, and we want to get rid of the tube up here. So once again, we grab the clone tool, and since it's kind of bright up here, we want to grab something similar. So I'm going to hold the Alt and left click there, and I'll start it down here, and I'll come up like this. And then I can grab the smudge brush and smudge it up into her hair a little bit. And that helps take everything away from there as far as the the oxygen tube is concerned. Actually, first I'm going to go ahead and merge that down, create a new layer, grab the clone tool again, and to do the neckline layer, I'm going to go ahead and make this a little bit bigger, about 35 point, and draw over this section here like that. That was good, but I need to erase the little edge here. Sometimes the clone tool will go too far and start grabbing something that you don't want. And it's easy just to erase it. Let's see if we grab this right around in the middle of the shirt. Boom. And basically we draw out this section here. And it works out good. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and draw out this little star here. And so I'm going to come before it. And I'm going to continue this area starting with here. I'll grab the clone tool again and come down here, hold the Alt, hit the left mouse button, and just come up. And that redraws that in. I could do it right here too. Boom. And I'm picking the same color. These colors go up and down on the same line. So since this shirt has a lapel here, I wanted to draw it and then cut it out. So I'm going to grab the clone tool and then paint this in a little bit further and do the same thing right here. Now I can grab the eraser and follow the shirt line here and erase a little bit out so it brings the lapel back, the little point here. And if we want to see exactly what it looks like, that's all that whole section looks like. I'm going to go ahead and merge that down as I have been, and then open up a new blank layer. Come over here and make the clone tool big again, like 50 point. If I start down here, I can just single click it right into place. Boom, see that? And that gets rid of the whole tube. There's just a little bit more up here, and that's pretty good. Now what we want to do is I want to cut her out and put a black background because it looks good with the black background. And then we're going to fix her skin tone a little bit. So let's go ahead. I'm going to merge that down and grab an eraser, and that way I can work on it. And pick these soft ones, not these harsh ones here. So I'm going to pick like a 9 point right around there. It's got to be small, but not too small. And I'm just literally just drawing her out. And I can shift click to do straighter lines. Boom. And now I'm going to zoom in and just freehand. Now that we got her all cut out, I'm going to go ahead and grab the polygon tool and just basically cut within those lines. So I'll start out here, come down here, and boom. See what's happening? How easy that is? And the reason I do this is instead of using the polygon to cut her out is because all photographs actually have soft edges. There are no harsh edges. The only time you really want to use polygon to cut things out is if you're doing graphics like letters, or drawn harsh lined objects. That's the only time you really use and see harsh lined edges. Most all photographs don't have harsh edges because most cameras aren't that sharp. When I get to the end here, I'm going to come up here, come over here, come back to where I started, double click, I'm going to zoom out, and watch what happens to the background. When I hit the delete button, boom, it's all gone. And now we got her cut out. I can turn the background back on, and we got a nice background, black background. Now, all we got to do here is just soften up the face. So what I'm going to do first, try to take the smudge brush and do a little bit of smudging. Make sure I'm on her layer. Make sure it's a soft brush. And what size do we want? We want it to be pretty big. Let's do like 65. And see, and I just simply hold the left mouse button and just go back and forth just a tiny bit, and you see that it softens it up. It softens up her skin. Especially with these lines, we're going to have to fix those a little bit. And I can actually manipulate this a little bit and move her face in just a little bit like that. Really subtle. And once we got most of it done, then we could do an overall color fix. And I'm going to do a new layer. I'm going to grab the eyedropper tool and try to pick a good color for her face. Let's grab something like right around here. And that looks good. I can see that in the color palette. That's a good color for her. So what I'm going to do is grab a brush, and we want to do a soft brush, but this time a very, very big one, like 150. So I'll change this to a 1.5. I'm going to draw in her new skin tone. Be very thrifty with it. That. And then I'll do the neck afterwards with something a little bit darker. I'm going to do a new layer. And I can turn that off. Let's start with the face first. Bring the opacity down to about 40% so we can still see the face. And with an eraser, a small eraser, like let's say a 10-point eraser, I'm going to erase out everything that I don't want those colors to have gone on top of, which includes anything beyond the face. Now, how do we know what we need to cut out? I'm going to go ahead and take this black layer temporarily and put it between her face and the new face treatment that I put. So I'm going to grab the black, go over here, change that face, and make that 100%, 100. And now we see exactly what needs to be cut out from our face enhancement. And I can use the polygon tool and cut everything out. That's beyond what we need that color on. I'm going to right click, select inverse, hit delete, and it got rid of everything else. Let's go ahead and move that black back to behind her. And that's looking pretty good. Of course we can't, it's not fully finished and it's too hot there. So let's bring this back down to about 25 point. Grab the eraser again. We're going to cut out the eyes and the nose and the mouth with like a 20 point or so. And we can cut the eyes out. You can see they start coming back in. We can cut out the nose holes. And once you have it done, you can always take the smudge brush and do like a small smudge brush and smudge out the little extras so it's not too sharp. Now we kind of choose how much intensity of that face wash that we just did. That was at 25%, so we can bring it down to nothing and watch the face as I bring it up. We get a softer look on the face, but we also lose definition on the face. So we really want to bring it back down and then bring it up just a tad. And I like it, but I'm thinking that it just might be a little bit too bright. So I like this at about 30, so to be safe, I'll go 25. And then I'm going to go ahead and darken it by going to Enhance, lighting, brightness. And now I can just simply, see, I can go lighter or darker. That looks good, right around there. You want to see the before and after? Watch your face. Before, after, before, after. It's really subtle, but it works. And check it out. I like that. But I still see a little bit of graininess and wrinkles that I really want to get rid of. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to duplicate her photo and then blur it out and then cut out the eyes, nose, mouth, and the t-shirt and the shirt. So I'm going to go ahead and right click here. Let's go ahead and duplicate the layer. Take that top layer, go to filter, blur, Gaussian blur, watch your face. Boom. Obviously that's way too harsh. So let's bring that down to, let's do 1.0. And then if we go preview before, after, you see how that really softened her face up. I think that really helps a lot. So we're going to hit OK. And since it's blurry, we want to unblur the eyeballs. So take the eraser. And remember, this is underneath the original that's not blurry. So if we grab a big, like 30-point eraser, I can erase the eyeballs and look at they get sharp again, and the mouth. Okay, so finally I think we got us a good photo. The only thing is that it's a little bit rich on the colors, so I'm going to grab her face and go to Enhance Color and adjust saturation, and watch what happens. It's a little bit harsh. If I take the saturation down, I can bring it to black and white. I can bring it all the way up to too much color, and I'm not going to even look at the numbers. I'm just going to bring this back and forth until I'm comfortable to what looks natural. And right around here really looks natural. And if you look up here, that's at minus 20%. That looks a lot better than overly saturated like that. It softens the whole image up. And that's pretty much it. This is it for this tutorial. This is Rich calling it quits, saying over and out.